Indian Prime Minister's visit to Bangkok. Let's take a look at what's on PM's agenda today. PM Modi will be holding a meeting with his Japanese counterpart Shinzo Abe. He will be attending a special lunch on sustainable development on the 14th East Asia Summit will be held post the lunch. The agenda of the meet would be to review the future direction of East Asia cooperation, exchange views on regional and international issues. This is the sixth time PM Modi will be attending the summit. After the summit, the Indian Prime Minister will hold talks with his Vietnamese counterpart, who will be hosting the ASEAN Summit next year. He will also be meeting Australian Prime Minister Scott Morrison. This comes as the most crucial part of his visit. The RCEP Summit, the RCEP comprising of 10-member ASEAN bloc and 6 other countries, India, China, Japan, South Korea, Australia and New Zealand, is touted to facilitate. Philippines Department of Trade and Industry Secretary, without naming India, said that it was the only country that is yet to agree with the RCEP deal.
Text-based wise, I would say it's almost concluded. All countries are in, but in the text-based chapters, of course, one country would prefer to have some kind of confirmation before they can really totally agree, to the conclusion of all these 20 chapters.
So all eyes are now on India at the summit. In the interview to Thai media, Indian Prime Minister Modi spoke on the RCEP negotiations. He said, and I quote here, India remains committed to a comprehensive and balanced outcome from the ongoing RCEP negotiations. We recognize the high ambitions of our partners on goods. We would like a win-win outcome. We believe that for this, addressing our concerns over unsustainable trade deficits is important. So it needs to be recognized that opening the vast Indian market must be matched by openings in some areas where our businesses can also benefit, unquote. Indian officials are working overtime to conclude negotiations on the 25 chapters of the Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership. This is a massive free trade agreement that could position India as a major player, but it comes with some drawbacks. We break it down for you in this report.
As the ASEAN Summit comes into focus, the Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership, or the RCEP, is turning out to be the biggest talking point. The question being asked is, will India join the massive free trade agreement? So what is RCEP and why the buzz around it? RCEP is a proposed free trade agreement between the 10 member states of the ASEAN: Brunei, Cambodia, Indonesia, Laos, Malaysia, Myanmar, the Philippines, Singapore, Thailand, Vietnam and its 6 FTA partners, China, Japan, India, South Korea, Australia and New Zealand. The 16 countries negotiating the RCEP encompass about 1/3 of global GDP and almost half the world's population. The pact aims to cover the trade in goods and services, investment, intellectual property and dispute resolution. Most importantly, the trade agreement will involve countries agreeing upon reducing or completely eliminating tariff and non-tariff barriers on imports and exports. For India, elimination of tariff can pose multiple hurdles. If India does agree, China imports are feared to flood the Indian markets. Milk products from New Zealand and Australia will inundate Indian store shelves. This will be a big blow to India's dairy industry. Similarly, the farming and plantation sector could face major setbacks. Indian companies are afraid that this agreement will give foreign players a free ride in the Indian market and put homegrown companies at a disadvantage. As negotiations began 6 years ago, India has been ironing out the details to make the deal more acceptable to the Indian industry. Despite the drawbacks, becoming a part of the economic grouping is in line with India's Act East policy. In this context, the trade agreement could turn out to be a major boost for India on the diplomatic front. If other countries go ahead and sign the RCEP without India, then it can be detrimental to India's export ambitions, as it could miss becoming part of global supply chains. From the Indian perspective, all efforts will be made for a balanced and comprehensive outcome with reasonable give and take. Bureau Report, Wion, World is One.